So Michigan, thank you for getting blown out too. So it helps my argument that Cincinnati still deserved to be there. Let's talk about that. Here it comes just a minute. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And in this video, we're going to talk about how Cincinnati still deserved to be in the college football playoff. Michigan did too, even though they just took a skull drugging in the game. Let's talk about expansion of the college football playoff. So the college football playoff was not what was advertised or what we thought it was going to be, but it was exactly what you should have expected it to be. First, let's talk about the games. Alabama beat up on Cincinnati 27-6. They were up 17-3 at the half. Finished the game 10 points at the end. Beat up on the Cincinnati Bearcats in the 1-4 game. And then you had Georgia, who just demolished Michigan. I mean, they beat them down 34-11. And it's funny, this to me feels like a good moment to still argue that we need to expand the college football playoff. I know. What makes me think that the college football playoffs was going to be any better if there was more teams? I mean, if you look at the way the teams were been lined up, there's a chance that the games would have maybe been worse. I know. It didn't turn out, like I said, as we wanted it to, but I still would like to argue that things would have been better if we had a bigger pool. Now, Nick Saban was saying he takes issue with this in his recent call, talking about how he respects in Cincinnati, good team, had a tremendous amount of respect, blah, blah, blah. And he said that I don't think that expanding, if this is the best four teams and they played each other, I don't think you see the logic in it. If we had more teams, there'd be better games. I don't know how that adds up. In a way, you're right. But this is something that I've said about the college football playoffs and college football in general for a long time. Traditionally, your top two teams are going to beat the crap out of everybody else. That's like the cool feature of college football is because of so much turnover that you'll randomly get these teams. And I don't even know how random it is. You'll get these teams where they'll just beat up on their competition. Like they just destroy them. You've got the LSU national championship team a couple years ago. They were just running through people. Clemson, up into the national championship game, they were technically running through people. There's been a lot of blowouts. Who was that? Brett McMurphy had tweeted this out. And I felt like this was kind of a important nugget that a lot of people didn't really want to pay much attention to. Let me pull it back up. I just closed it on accident. But for the most part, it's that majority of these college football playoff games have been blowouts. Like blowouts. Let's look at this. We're now going to add Michigan and Cincinnati to the list of college football playoff games where the winner won by 3 or more scores, 3+. So, of course, Michigan and Cincinnati this year. Notre Dame in 2020, 2018. Ohio State 2020, 2016. Clemson 2020, 2019, 2017, 3 times. Oklahoma in 2019, 2015. Alabama 2018, they got blown out. Washington 2016. Michigan State 2015. Florida State 2014. Oregon 2014. That's 11 games. 11 of the games had a 3+ score blowout. So how do you fix this? Everyone's asking the question, how do you fix the college football playoff? You can't. There is no fixing it. The only solution is to find a way to get parity into the sport. And to be honest, with name, image, and likeness, I think that may lead to more parity. All these in the transfer portal, people are transferring like crazy. They're going where they think they can play. I think that's the way that helps. But besides that, ask Nick Saban to retire. That's kind of it, because Ryan Day has shown us that he is really good, but he can be beaten. Dabo Swinney at this point, now he's lost all his assistants. He's shown he can be beaten. Kirby Smart's having a great year, but he's shown that one team can beat him. And then there's Nick Saban, who seems to not like to lose. There's your solution to your problem. Is you kind of got to get Nick Saban to retire. I still blame the Miami medical staff for not approving Drew Brees as quarterback for them. If they would approved Drew Brees as a quarterback instead of getting Dante Culpepper with his bad knee, maybe Nick Saban would have stayed with the Dolphins. Maybe, because he would have had a little bit more success. He had a quarterback that's capable. Then he would have been able to just build on his defense and go. But he had Dante Culpepper, who couldn't stay healthy. After that knee injury, he was done. He's toast. So, yeah, in this case, college football is dealing with Nick Saban dominant. Literally, I looked at Nick Saban because today was the anniversary. It's Monday. Today was the anniversary of Nick Saban leaving Miami and taking the job at Alabama. Since then, his records look like mine on NCAA 14. Like undefeated season, 1-loss season, 2-loss season, 1-loss season, undefeated season. It's just it looked like my coaching resume on the video game. And the only reason why I lose games is just so I can make it feel a little bit more realistic. Because I had one year, I went like 5 straight years undefeated, 86 game winning streak. Still got it on Heisman. And Nick Saban looks like a video game coach. That's just how great he is at this game. So the only way to fix it is that. But there's something else I also want to talk about. Kirk Herbstreit decided to rail in on college football players not loving the game like they used to. Not wanting it as bad as they used to. Leaving early. And this is where I think college football playoff expansion can help this problem that Kirk Herbstreit has, and at the same time, make the sport even better. A lot of these kids aren't playing in these bowl games because these bowl games have no meaning besides playing a final game with your friends. If you ask the players on the teams, they'll tell you they don't have beef with their teammates leaving to get the bag because this is their only opportunity to get the bag. Let me put this in perspective for you. The only reason why these top players in college football, your 5 stars, the ones that look like they are potentially NFL players, the only reason why they're playing in college is because they don't have a choice. If they want to play in the NFL, they have to be 3 years removed from high school. 3. So, what else is there to do? The 2 spring leagues that tried to show up, the Association of American Football and the XFL, both folded after a few weeks. There is no other spring football. There is no other fall football. So what else are these kids going to do? Does it make sense to just sit around at the house and do nothing? You are a potential NFL draft pick, and teams can't really do anything with you until you get 3 years removed. So that's why they're in college. That's the only reason why. Y'all think it's tradition and all this other? No. They tell you that. They're there because they don't have a choice. If they had a choice, I promise you they would not be at college because there's no reason to be there. It's no different than the NBA when they made the one and done rule and people are complaining about that. It's one and done because those guys don't have a choice. They have to go to the NBA. They have to go to college to go to the NBA. Or now they found new avenues. You see them going to the G League. You see them going overseas. My point, it's Herbstreit and them thinking that they don't love this. They do. They love it because they're playing in college. Their whole point in being there was to go pro. The other players love it even more. And so for me, I don't mind them opting out. I actually want to see what the new guys are going to look like that's going to play next season. This is their opportunity to shine. Why are we taking their shine away? Why are you so concerned about players opting out? Why do you care so much about them? Why should we care about them? Let them go get their bag because that's their only opportunity. Well, I mean, NIL, they can get money now too, but schools aren't paying them. Why should they put their bodies on the line late in the season? Because you got to remember, this is a buildup. They're getting beat up all year. And then at the end, you're more likely to get hurt at the end Matt Corral, quarterback at Ole Miss, even though luckily his draft stock status ain't going to change because, I mean, he's a quarterback. He's good. If he had broke his arm, maybe somebody got concerned, or destroyed his shoulder, maybe someone got concerned, but it's his ankle, so he's good. I don't like that he got injured, but I'm just saying that injury isn't something that's going to just end his career for the most part. If it was his knee, the Teddy Bridgewater situation could be. But anyway, it doesn't look like it's going to be career injury ending, and it doesn't look like his draft stock's going to change. So I digress. My apologies for going on that long rant. But my point is, these guys are only going to college because they don't have the choice. So they're leaving. They're going to prepare for their bag, which makes the most sense. Let's bring in the new guys. I want to see the young, fresh meat. I want to see the guys that will be playing next season, what they look like together. I want to see what they're going to be. That should be what you should be talking about, Herb Street. That's the thing that all the talking heads need to be talking about. Let's get excited about the new players. I get that some want to have the nostalgia of the last time the guys are going to be on the field playing for your team. Cool story, bro. I'm not that concerned. I personally want to, like I said, see the new guys. And so, but the other solution is make it meaningful for them. Like really meaningful. The only ones that don't opt out are typically those playing for a national championship. Expand the college football playoff, and you got that. I mean, go look at the New Year's 6 games. Most of them were really good. They were competitive and they were fun. That's what we want. That's more money for everybody. And then maybe we can start figuring out how to pay the players since everybody's making more money. That's your that's it. There's your answer. If you want to fix it, if you want to fix the problem with kids opting out, expand the playoffs so more people have an opportunity to play. Because a lot of them know they don't have a chance to play in the playoffs. So they're going through the season like they're supposed to. Make sure their draft status looks good, and they go. I mean, hell, we've seen players opt out from 2020, still get drafted good. Look at Jamar Chase. He opted out 2020 season. Didn't want to play because he wanted to prepare for the bag. Everybody's already seen him. Now they know what he is. And look at breaking records in college, in the NFL right now. So y'all gonna be mad that guys like that opt out. I'm all for it. I'm all for about getting the bag. Y'all should be all about them getting the bag too. Because this is literally their best chance. If they're going to go pro, this is when they're going to make the bulk of their money, is using their bodies at a young age.